afternoon and evening, but really that threat is diminishing as we continue through the afternoon. We've stayed cloudy, we've stayed cool, and that's kept us fairly stable. On top of that, a big system which was to our south early this morning has sucked a lot of the energy away from North Georgia. Because of that, our severe weather threat has gone down significantly. Still, it is a wet afternoon, and that will continue. Even some areas of moderate rain right now moving through western Gwinnett County, through Fulton County, down into Forest Park. As we get a wider view, this is the line we've been watching closely as it's moved through Tennessee. Lots of lightning, as you see, associated with it, but as it's moved into northwestern Georgia, it has diminished very quickly, and even the lightning has virtually come to an end as it's moved into northwestern Georgia. Still watching this line very closely. At the very least, it will produce very heavy rainfall, and we could see some gusty winds. We still remain under a level 1 risk of severe weather, so on a scale of 1 to 5, it's a 1. It is a low threat, but we could see an isolated strong storm possible. The threats we're looking at: some gusty winds and potentially some heavy rain. So for tonight, don't put rain gear away quite yet. We do have showers and storms in the forecast. Although that severe threat has come down, we're still getting the rain. It doesn't mean that the rain is moving out. We'll keep it rainy. We will hear some thunder tonight with a 100% chance of rain. Once the system clears out, it will get much cooler. We're going to talk about that and a big warm up for your weekend coming up.
Thank you, Jen. You'll want to have the powerful CBS 46 streaming app on hand today as we watch for that possibility of severe weather, however small it may be. You can download it for free and get pinpoint weather and traffic alerts with you on the go at any time. You can find it in the Apple App Store or on Google Play.
We are following breaking news at this hour. It's happening in Buckhead. A man has been shot. We have just learned he is dead, and now police are hunting for whomever pulled the trigger. Brittany Edney live on the scene on Camellia Lane. That's just off Lindbergh Drive. Brittany.
Yeah, Sean, well, it happened about a block from where I'm standing. Security did push us back this far. I can tell you, though, investigators are starting to clear out. Just moments ago, we saw the medical examiner heading out along with a few police cars. But investigators tell us that a man believed to be about 39 or 40, that he was shot and killed in broad daylight this afternoon. Investigators tell us that that victim, he just got out of his white Escalade, had some type of conversation with another man, and then that other guy started shooting. He did shoot and kill the victim, and then from there the suspect got into either a gray Jeep Compass or possibly a gray Jeep Liberty. It was driven by another woman. Police still working on getting the tag information. They have been out here all this afternoon talking to witnesses. They have gotten their hands also on some security footage, so they're reviewing that as well. But right now they tell me they're not quite sure of a motive, but do believe the two men knew each other, so this isn't any type of random act of violence. But I can tell you there are a lot of apartments on both sides of the street nearby, so residents pretty shocked about this afternoon violence.
This area is so pleasant. I lived a lot of places in my life, and I always wondered why I never lived here at first. People are great. Everything's wonderful here. This is so rare.
And police say they're not sure if the victim lived in any of these nearby apartments. They're still working on that as well. Of course, they are asking for the community's help with anyone with any information or details about what happened, or if you've possibly seen that Jeep, either Compass or Liberty. They're asking for details on that. You can contact Crime Stoppers. Coming up in the next hour, though, I'm going to have more information and details from police. Reporting live, Brittany Edney, CBS 46 News.
Now to the other major story we're covering today, the coronavirus crisis. Let's get straight to the latest numbers out on the outbreak. And here is a graph. We're going to show it to you right there momentarily. It's showing how the numbers have changed in recent weeks. As of 3 p.m., the case count is well over 25,000. The death toll, 1,067. An independent researcher has a grim new prediction for our state. That model, which was shared by the CDC, projects the number of daily deaths in Georgia will nearly double by early August. The estimate is based on the assumption that social distancing will relax slightly as the state continues to reopen.
And we have team coverage today on the coronavirus crisis with crews live asking what's next for Georgia's shelter-in-place order and where our state stands on personal protective equipment. And we start with Haley Mason on that shelter-in-place order that's set to expire tomorrow night. And today, Haley, Governor Kemp is supposed to make an announcement. What do we know?
Just learned minutes ago, Rick, that announcement is not coming until tomorrow. That is a definitive announcement out of the governor's office just 2 minutes ago to my cell phone. But what we did know earlier is that malls like Lenox and Phipps Plaza were planning to open their doors this weekend on the heels of a shelter-in-place order possibly being lifted. But again, we just learned minutes ago that announcement won't come until tomorrow. The governor's office told us earlier today that it would possibly come today, but it appears that we'll be waiting on the details down to the wire. In the last week, we've seen people trickle into salons, restaurants, movie theaters, and this weekend, possibly some local malls. I talked to epidemiologist Dr. Harry Hyman, who tells me testing is still lagging behind in Georgia. He says we need to be doing 10,000 to 15,000 corona tests each day to truly move forward. Yesterday, the state health department reached an all-time testing high of about 12,000 tests. Hyman says there also needs to be not only drive-through testing, but stand-up testing sites in lower-income communities where some people may not have cars. He says that is what will help tackle the spread and prevent more deaths in Georgia. He says they will continue to spike if we open prematurely.
I think if the policy decisions made by the governor continue to be to prematurely open up our state, then we can anticipate increased cases and increased deaths. On the other hand, if the governor recognizes that further relaxation of restrictions is ill-advised and focuses more on creating the conditions to safely open the state, then I think this is a very winnable battle.
And those are the decisions that are being mulled over and discussed right now in the governor's office. We'll share some more advice from public health officials that they're offering Governor Kemp in this hour, coming up at 6 o'clock. And we'll also have a message on what Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is considering now. Reporting live in Buckhead, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Haley, thank you. As more and more businesses get back to work, the demand for face masks going through the roof. Our team coverage continues with CBS 46's Carolyn Ryan in Gwinnett County.
A lot of businesses requiring their staff and their customers to wear face masks. So this healthcare company in Lawrenceville now changing their business model to help meet that demand. They went from manufacturing compression products for plastic surgery procedures to reusable antibacterial face masks in a matter of days. And they made the quick switch with a little help from Congressman Doug Collins. Collins, who represents Georgia's 9th Congressional District, helped expedite an FDA emergency use authorization for the company. Now it cranks out 80,000 medical-grade masks a week, and it plans on doubling that amount by next week.
So we took our entire organization and we turned it around in literally a couple of weeks and started producing masks. We've expanded our manufacturing in other places across the U.S. because the demand is so tremendous.
So how many can come off in an hour?
CBS 46 was the only news station inside the plant. As Congressman Collins toured the plant today, he said this is exactly what we need to see more of. Georgia companies manufacturing huge quantities of essential items like face masks. Not only does it keep us from having to rely on other countries like China, but it also keeps Georgians employed. In Lawrenceville, Carolyn Ryan, CBS 46 News.
Carolyn, thank you. Investors are going to like what they see on Wall Street today. You might like it too. The Dow Jones Industrial soaring by 527 points to close at 24,629. A rebound for the other indices as well. NASDAQ up by 306 and the S&P 500 ticked upward by 76 points.
A Metro Atlanta grocery store is going the extra mile to make sure people are safe while they're shopping. The City Farmers Market on Buford Highway in Chamblee is now checking your temperature with a camera. When you walk into the store, you appear on the screen showing your temperature. And if it's over 100.4, you're asked to stay outside. But you're given a flyer letting you choose the option for the store to shop for you.
Somebody is sick, go inside. More people are sick. But if the temperature here, people know that they said, I'm sick, I can go back, not go inside the store.
The City Farmers Market is also having staff clean shopping care in bulk after each use. Those carts right there that you see. And that's another way the store is keeping shoppers safe. A Metro Atlanta mall makes sure people in need get fed during this crisis.
We're already seeing some areas of heavy rain across Metro Atlanta, and this line with even heavier rain on the way. I'll track this when it will arrive and what to expect for the rest of the evening.
Global Mall is handing out 1,200 hot meals to people who need it. I'm Ayana Crystal. We're telling you why they felt the need to give back.
Now, CBS 46 Pinpoint Weather, certified Atlanta's.
Welcome back. Well, we are all staying home for longer periods of time these days, and we're trying to limit the amount of time we spend in the grocery stores, right? Well, today's Healthy at Home tip shows us some foods that can last for a while and help limit trips to the store.
Healthy at Home, sponsored by Wellstar.
So I want to start by talking about something that may have had a bad rep, and that's frozen foods. Frozen fruit is awesome. Frozen riced cauliflower, which is great. Also just like plain frozen veggies. If you really think about it, fresh food goes bad pretty quickly. So the best way to get something that's nutrient dense and stays that way is to do some frozen food that's not covered with salt or cheese. Remember, just the most plain foods that you can get, and add the flavors to them later with what you've got in your pantry. Canned foods. Canned beans are great, full of fiber, protein, almond butter, peanut butter, sun butter. If you guys have nut allergies, that lasts a while and is really nutritious. They've even got canned salmon now, which is great. And then you can also do things like canned or packaged tuna. And then you've got like bagged and dried things. Fried grains, quinoa is very nutritious, really high in protein and fiber. Lentils, chia seeds are really nutritious. Freeze-dried fruit, which is awesome. And then we've got some other boxed things. Lentil pasta, really high in protein. Little packs of nuts, protein bars. Then we've got oats, walnuts, pumpkin seeds. I mean, all of this stuff has a long shelf life, so you really have no need to worry. There's a lot of things that you can stock your freezer and your pantry with that is really nutritious.
Now, CBS 46 Pinpoint Weather, certified Atlanta's most accurate forecast.
And hopefully you have a lot of that in your pantry because nobody wants to go out in this. We have rain with areas of heavy rain moving over metro Atlanta and all of North Georgia. And really, this is going to continue through the rest of the night with some breaks, but also some areas of heavy rain as well. In fact, right now over Forest Park on the south side of 285, some heavy downpours there as we head south towards Irondale and Peachtree City, some heavy showers, Stone Mountain on the east wall of 285. Then as we head through Gwinnett County, right along I-85, heading up to western Hall County, all the way into Dawson County, seeing those showers. Then we get a little bit of a break through northwest Georgia, but then we have another line of showers and even some thunderstorms moving into northwestern Georgia, seeing a lightning strike right here in Alabama. This system was a lot more impressive as it made its way through Tennessee, and you can see it in real time how it had a tremendous amount of lightning, but as it makes its way into northwestern Georgia, a lot of this has fizzled. So yes, we could still see some lightning and thunder, but really for the most part, the severe weather threat is very low to none as the system moves through North Georgia. With that said, we're still going to see some rain, and we do live in North Georgia, and you know that still could mean some trees down, possibly some power outages just because it is going to be so wet, and we are going to see some gusty winds as these storms roll on through. By 6 p.m., still seeing that rain. This will continue through the evening. Notice that threat moves to our east by about 8, 9 o'clock. Then as we approach midnight, we will be in the clear. And for more on what this means for your evening, we're going to head over to meteorologist Ella Dorsey.
Just want to break that down for you once again. We could see some thunderstorms here in the coming hours because we're still, like Jen said, in Georgia, and it is the middle of the springtime, but the severe risk with this system very low. Rain continues through midnight, and then we dry out through the overnight hours. The damaging wind risk, once again, this is really the highest risk with this storm system, and you can see there's only a 5% chance of damaging winds within 25 miles of a place. It is very windy outside right now. Current wind gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour. That will continue as this system moves through. So once again, like Jen said, we could see some down limbs, possibly a few down trees just because it's breezy. But by the time you head to bed tonight, 10 p.m., the wind is dying down, and then overnight